We got Saad Awad back here on the program. He's going to be in the main event of Bellator 219. He's going to be taking on Brandon Girtz on March 29th. Saad, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. It's good to catch up with you again, and great to see you get another main event here. This is an awesome opportunity. But first, I wanted to ask, your last fight was in October, and we're talking about a fight here at the end of March. Was this the right amount of time off for you?
Yeah. Honestly, I asked to come back earlier. I wanted to fight right away. Kind of get that loss off my back. But I mean, it just gave me more time to prepare. You know what I mean? So I had more time to work on a couple of things and evaluate my loss a little bit and just move forward.
And you're not used to losing. I mean, you had a winning streak heading into that fight, but it's Benson Henderson, former UFC champion. It doesn't get much tougher in terms of competition. What did you learn the most from that fight when you fought Bendo?
That cheating could get you a win.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Straight up, but I mean, I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot. It could be any man's day. You going in there. I was prepared with my wrestling, and I didn't expect it to go that way though. And I think mentally, since I prepared, I kind of prepared more for a stand-up fight with them, and I think mentally going in there thinking that I got frustrated and kind of threw me off my game. So now I know, not to get so frustrated and kind of just go with the flow.
Well, all joking aside, do you feel like he is a dirty fighter? Because I know one of his teammates has been accused of that. I don't know if you know James Nakashima. He's been known just for the eye pokes and things like that.
It's funny you say that. I just right after my fight, one of his other teammates fought, and he fought. I think it was in the UFC, and he got called out for the inside glove grabbing a couple of times too. And so so I don't know if it's just. No knock against their coach. They have a really great coach over there, but somebody's teaching them something, and those guys are kind of I don't know. I don't want to call it the team because they are a good team. They're a solid team, but shit. He did what he had to do to win. I think it comes with being a veteran. I think that's what more.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's yeah,
being a veteran,
for sure.
And kind of doing what you got to do to win. Maybe he never got called for it before, and kind of got called for it this time, and got a spotlight put on.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just had to bring it up because you did mention that. So that's that. But let's talk about Brandon Girtz. I interviewed him, I think, yesterday. And, one of the things I said to him, and I'll ask you the same thing. I'm surprised you guys haven't fought each other. You guys have both been in Bellator for so long. You guys, it seemed like at some point you were on a collision course. So I'm sure taking a fight like this, you were probably pretty familiar with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know his name did get brought up before. And, I accepted the fight. I accept every fight they give me. But, we actually signed a contract to fight right before I fought Couture, and then they pulled him to fight Chandler because Chandler.
That's right. Yeah. I remember that.
So, our fight wasn't announced, but we were scheduled to fight. We did sign our bout agreement, and it was like a week later. I think they pulled him to fight, or not even a week later, like a couple days. So they're trying to make this fight happen before, and now they got it. Now everybody's gonna get a pretty good show.
I think the one thing you have to look at in this fight is, he suffered a pretty bad injury in that fight against Chandler. He hasn't fought since then. You've been a lot more active than he has. Do you feel like that will play a role in this fight?
I get injured every other fight, and I usually come back harder and come back better. So I'm not going to take anything from him getting injured. Some people deal with, adversity or getting, when shit happens to them, sometimes they deal with it in a good way, sometimes they deal with it in a bad way. It all depends on, what kind of person he is, and he seems like a soldier, and I think he's going to come back harder, coming back off of an injury like that.
How do you feel like you match up against him here?
I think I match up beautiful. I think I match up good against everybody. To be honest, you can ask me against whoever you want to ask me against, and I think I'm going to match up against him really good, but stylistically, I think he falls into, my kind of fight. I think I could drag him into my kind of fight, and which my kind of fight is his kind of fight. So, you know what I mean? So I think stylistically we pull each other into, a slugfest. And I think if we do get pulled in a slugfest, it could be anybody's night. But I still think I have the edge. I think I'm going to be a little bit, bigger, a little bit longer. I'm going to hit a little bit harder. And, I think my size is going to, make a difference in this fight.
Training camp, pretty much the same, training with the same guys and all that. Did you change anything for this camp?
No, man, no, I'm at the training lab now. Sam Pelvey has been doing our strength conditioning, our dieting, our food, and just kind of he's like the scientist behind the doors. And just mainly me and Georgie and George Carfanian and Arnold Jimenez. He's been helping me a lot too. It's one of our young guys that fights as well. He's a very good corner. He's been helping us with mitts and strategizing and stuff. And of course Juan and all those other guys over there too. So we got a solid camp behind us.
No, you have. And I was going to ask, has TJ Dillashaw been in there, or is he taking some time off after the last fight?
He's been in and out. He took a little bit of time off right after, and then he's been popping in and giving his little pointers. So I'm only see him not every day, but I mean we do see him.
How happy are you to see Georgie back in Bellator? I always thought that was one where it's like, I don't know why they didn't re-sign him at the time.
Yeah, I didn't get it either. I mean, I think everything happens for a reason, and it lit a fire under him. He went out there and he went to Russia and destroyed two of their top guys. They brought him there to lose, and he beat two guys with really good records, and he out wrestled wrestlers. You know what I mean? And I think that was the best thing that ever happened to him. Went out there, made some cash. Now he came back, and now he's hungrier than ever. He's opened doors that he probably didn't know that he had, and I think he's going to come back a whole different fighter. Coming back from the Bellator, and I'm excited. I'm excited for him. It sucks that they let him go, but like I said, it's probably the best thing that happened to him.
And he gets to come back and fight in a main event, which is awesome. Just like yourself, it's like the main event team right here. So it's good. How's the cut going? I know you always make 55, but how's it going right now?
I am the lightest I've ever been, and
that's
not in a bad way. You know what I mean? It's a great way. Like I mean, I'm a bigger 55 pounder. You know what I mean? I stand next to a lot of these guys, and they kill themselves making weight. And if I really want to, I can make weight tomorrow. If I really wanted to, so without killing myself. So I'm still a little over a week and a half out. So I'm coming in perfect. I'm not going to miss a meal. I'm going to eat the day before weigh-ins and stay fully hydrated and then make weight and perform to the best of my ability.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Most likely it's gonna be Georgie. I mean, Georgie's fighting the week before me, but he'll be back. So probably Georgie, Arnold, probably Juan. Probably those three guys.
That's like a nice all-star team there. How do you see this fight playing out? It seems like you always get the finish. I know your last fight, went the distance, but what's sort of your prediction on this one?
I mean, I trained for a 3-round fight because I know Brandon Girtz is he's definitely durable, and he'll come in, he'll throw from the beginning to the very end. So I'm expecting a 3-round fight, but stylistically, I don't think it's gonna go 3 rounds. I really don't. You know what I mean? Unless he plays, that little scared game where you run, and try to shoot him from far and turn into a grappling match, then we'll probably end up grappling for 3 rounds. But if he comes and fights me the way he normally fights, I don't think it's going to go past first round, second if he's lucky.
Okay, I like that. Do you feel like this is the type of win that'll get you right back in the driver's seat? One of the things you got to look at with both of you guys have fought really, really tough competition. You just fought Benson Henderson. He just fought Chandler. Do you feel like, because both of you guys have kind of fought that high-level competition, that a win here will get you kind of back in the driver's seat?
Man, I hope so. You know what I mean? I don't see why you shouldn't. There's a solid, stable guys in Bellator at 155. And I believe me and him have beat most of the guys that are good, or at least we fought them. And the guys that we did lose to, aren't doing that great, are coming off of losses as well. So I believe this fight should catapult me right back up there. And then hopefully after this fight I get a good win, and go out there and ask for whoever's the number 1 guy, and I'm just gonna push for that and then see what happens.
Anyone follows you on Instagram, I know you're a guy who, enjoys the outdoors, gets out, does the weather and all that, and takes advantage of it. You're a family guy too. But what about like Netflix? Like what does the nighttime look like, the downtime, when you get that little bit of free time? What are you doing?
We do, me and my wife, we record a lot of like the Dateline, mystery, like,
oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I like that stuff too.
Yeah, we record all of them. So we have like whatever channel it's on, we have it set to record, and then I believe new ones come on, I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday, but she has them all down. So we would usually record them. If we don't catch them, we'll catch them a little bit later. And then, which is The Voice, and that's usually something like when she's cooking dinner, she'll put that on. But I spend most of my time playing with the kids when I'm home. I really don't watch too much TV until we get to bed, and then usually we fall asleep halfway through it and go crash out. So yeah, I mean, more about those little murder mystery shows.
You definitely won't be falling asleep watching this card. This is stacked. It's March 29th. It is Bellator 219. This is a great main event. I can't wait. Saad, it's always great talking to you, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours, man.
Of course, man. James, thank you so much. It's always good to talk to you. Catch me on all the media platforms the social media platforms at Saad MMA. That's SAAD MMA. That's on Twitter and Instagram. If you just search my name, Facebook will come up. And shout out to the 86ers. They always have my back. Original grappler as well. Go get yourself a nice Awad shirt on there. Pre-order it now, or order it now so you get there before fight day. And that's originalgrappler.com. And Garden Life and all that. Everybody else that supports me. Good looking on everything. And excited to go put on the fight, man. Can't wait to fight. I've been itching to fight, and it's finally coming. It's gonna be an exciting fight in my hometown, so everybody in San Bernardino gets to come out and watch. So it's gonna be a good night.